Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We Said What We Said. This here is episode 5.
Get it right, brother. Get it right.
Sorry that we a few minutes late, but as you know, just bear with us. As always, man, I got my man Timmy T.
What up?
I got my man Big D.
Yo.
As, of course, I'm Big L.
Get it right, bro.
And as promised, we are graced with our presence. Brother Amon Muhammad, welcome.
Thank you so much, brothers.
We appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you so much, brothers. I'm so happy to be here, to be with my brothers. And as we shared before, really our childhood friends.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I probably still look like I'm in my childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all,
sit beside me, you do.
You know what I mean? We was joking before we came on about wrestling and back in the day, and I told him, no, I wrestle. He wrestle. But it's a pleasure and an honor to be with brothers I've seen come so far and do so much and really just about to take off even higher. Hey, I'm happy to be here, brother.
We definitely appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate that, man.
Oh, yeah.
First thing we want to do, man, is for all y'all out there watching, hit that heart button. Don't hit that like button. Hit that heart button. Let Facebook know you love what we're doing. This will get this thing in heavy rotation. Hit that share button. And definitely send your comments, your questions to us. We're going to do as good a job as we can to answer these questions. Probably not as they come, but as much as we can. We definitely want to keep this conversation going. Also, subscribe to that YouTube channel. Help us spread this word. And speaking of the word, brother, that's what we're here for. We're here to get some of this great knowledge you about to lay on us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, as usual, hey, brother Timmy, how was your week, man?
Man, it was long and hard, man. It was long and hard, man.
That's life.
Hey,
That's life.
rain, man. My air went out. I'm still battling with that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wait for the winter. I'm gonna hold off for a minute. I don't know if I'm gonna drop.
We'll get it fixed in the winter.
It's cheap in the winter.
I know, right? What about you, Mike? How was your week, man?
Week was all right, man. Week was all right, man. I can't complain. I'm just blessed to, the way things are in the world. Sometimes you're blessed just to see the next day.
Oh, you're right. Man, for me, man, I had a good week, man. I started a new gig. It's interesting at the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Got a new job?
HNIC now.
Okay. Okay.
So
I've been there.
I know.
It's hard, man.
It's something that as far as me, and always been in manufacturing, always striving to be in supervision management. It's eye opening to see the challenges because I am the only African American that's in management there at this company, this Fortune 500 company. And so,
throw that in there. Then.
I'm just saying, man. I'm the only African American at our facility.
Okay,
and it's a great facility, and they treat me like I'm one of them, like I'm family. It's a good family atmosphere, and but the only thing about it, I can honestly say, man, it was scary to make that change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when you get my age, I ain't gonna put y'all age out there. When you get my age, it's you can't just make a change that's economic or whatever for yourself. Now you got to think about
everybody,
all the ripples that's gonna come behind it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really pray on it and talk to my wife about what this is a good decision to making a change at this point. And I can honestly say, unless I hit the lottery, which I don't never play the lottery, so I doubt if I ever hit that, or something phenomenal comes across, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be unless God got another path for me to take. This is like ain't gonna be no more job changing. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But other than that, man, this week has been a humbling week, self-evaluating week again, as it is about every week. You had to self-evaluate yourself.
Oh yeah.
And it's what about you, brother? Brother Mike, how your week been, man?
Oh man, that's a loaded question, but I have to say, good, man. Everybody's good, family's good. The work don't stop. More people trying to find out about themselves and what the next step should be, maybe for us as a people.
Right.
So for those who are, striving to elevate the consciousness of our people. I mean, your workload has quadrupled.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, so got more work than we can handle. You know, so I got to say, man, I've had a good week. You know, and I pray that God blesses us to, you know, continue to stay busy,
Yes.
but we always got more work than we can handle, brother.
Stay busy
all the
and stay
time.
awoke.
Oh yes, sir.
Stay
Oh
awoke.
yes, sir.
Gotta stay awoke, man.
Yes, sir.
Man.
All right. Well, let's go on and dive right into it. As
Let's
we
get a
know,
bio. Let's get a bio.
Because I mean, this is what I was gonna say. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I said this before. Brother Amon came. When Brother Amon found the Nation of Islam, or they found him, it was early in our life, man. It was a scary time. We were still trying to deal with social injustices and just being treated as second class citizens. And he had the strength and the fortitude to go into something that was gonna put the magnifying glass on it. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh man, Amon Muslim. Yeah, Amon, you know what I'm saying? We in Reedsville.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he at Rockingham, and now he Muslim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, what's that? You know what I'm saying? So it brought out in me to research and see what you were going through, brother. You know, and I, like before you came out, I said, man, I appreciate what you did, because you were not afraid to do
right,
what nobody else had done. You know what I'm saying? I don't know a person that was Muslim before you. I don't know a member of the Nation of Islam before you, and I respect and I appreciate everything you do and have done. Your Black Family Day is a beautiful thing, and it's been going on. And I try if I'm in town, I try to come, man. I want to personally say thank you for everything you've done, all the sacrifices that you've gone through, you and your family, for what you stand for. I appreciate you, brother. And if you ever need me, and this is on everything, if you ever need me in any facet, do not hesitate. I will be there. And I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I want to say I forget the year. I know it was early 90s, probably 93, maybe 94, when Brother Danny Neal informed me you was doing something at the Masonic Temple. You were speaking. I think that might have been either your first speaking or one of your first speakings. And at the time, you know, I was DJing, so I had some DJ equipment, some sound equipment, and took it up there, set it up, and like Timmy said, I didn't know anybody in Reedsville that was, you know, into the faith. And, you know, a couple of years before, me and Demetrius were freshmen at Winston.
Say it again. Where was with?
The great WSSU.
It was WSSU.
They cannot get in the Central, so they went to West State. You know.
But getting back to it, man. You know, we both have a mutual friend by the name of Chuck Collins, and it just so happened Minister Farrakhan was speaking at the Bend Convention Center.
Yeah.
About 91 about the Winston-Salem 4. And to that point, you know, I'm a huge Public Enemy fan, but that and listening to X-Clan and gracing over Malcolm X and things like that, that's all I ever knew about the Nation of Islam. And then when I went to hear Minister Farrakhan speak, to this day, man, that was moving for me. That was just moving for me. And to see so many brothers and sisters in one room, nobody acting up, everybody focused on what's going on, focused on that word, man. And it was a beautiful thing. And, you know, we being from Reedsville, you know, I grew up around preachers, my grandfather, my uncle, all of them preachers. But that was probably one of the most moving speakings I've ever heard. And I'll never forget that. And then that leads me to when I saw you. And it was just moving. Because here it is, somebody I actually know. Somebody I actually know personally, he's doing this, man, and it was a great thing. It was a great thing, and it was definitely much needed for this community. As I made a video earlier in regards to some of the hurdles that you have faced. And when I say that in regards to some of the hurdles that you faced in bringing on Black Family Day. Black Family Day is what, about 24 years strong now?
Yes, sir.
24 years strong. And I'm sure you still may face some hurdles about it, but nothing stops you, brother. And that's power right there, man. That's something that I can sit back and say that this brother's strong. This brother don't,
Wow.
no matter the hurdles,
Wow.
he finds a way.
Wow.
Hey, for me, I remember the fresh Adidas and Nike wearing.
When he thought he could dance.
Yeah,
When he
oh
thought he could
my
dance.
God.
But
You
I
know,
was the best
I
dancer in
remember-
Rockingham County.
I mean,
Point
hey,
blank.
the brother, he fly now.
We being serious,
Super
y'all.
fly.
Just took it back
Fly
there.
Super
He
fly.
fly now. I'm gonna keep it real. He fly now. But back in the day,
Yes.
oh, Amon was the man. He was the man. He was the flies of the fly at Rockingham. He took the county school. He took a predominantly white school by storm. I can say that because everybody knew Amon. But on the real though, you know,
Yes,
to know somebody of your caliber now, the transformation, to see the transformation you see, to see the positive things that you trying to teach and preach, and just to see that, man, it is a blessing to know that we have a brother like you amongst us. You know what I'm saying? People may not follow the nation like that,
Yes,
but
sir.
people are friends of you, and they listen to you. You know what I'm saying? And they listen to what you have to say. It ain't like just any Jack in the Box can just pop up and say something. People listen to you because they feel like you're genuine. You're gonna be honest. You're gonna be straight up with them, and that's how you always been. And man, I commend everything that you're doing.
Yes.
Like I said, man, we been rocking it since like 80s, 88, 89. And
It's been a long time,
brother.
brother.
And-
It's been a long time.
just to see all of us still striving to be better. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Striving to be better men, striving to be better Black men.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable, man. It's love.
It's love.
It's
man.
love, man. It's
You
love.
were definitely a great example.
Absolutely.
Love.
Absolutely. Great father, speaker,
Husband.
friend,
husband.
man.
Man,
Yes.
you know, brothers, this is probably you see I brought all my arms, but
Yes.
Yes.
you know, this is quite humbling, to be honest, because nobody ever really knows really what their purpose is initially. You know, everybody, if they're honest, we start out trying to find our way in life. And as I think you said, Brother Timmy, when you know I found the nation, or the nation found me, you know, really it was two things, you know, and it took me time to see that we're all destined for greatness. Circumstances, situations, things happen, and sometimes we get sidetracked. And because we get sidetracked, we think that it's over. It's not over. And I've also come to see over these years, brother, sometimes God chooses a person and makes their life go a certain way. I would have never seen that like that if it wasn't for Minister Farrakhan. And Minister Farrakhan is a man that we refer to as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because I know I'm not by myself, nor in the audience and those sitting up here. We have been in front of somebody and said, and we have to all rise here for the honorable sons, and we know that joker wasn't honorable,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and we had to stand for him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so we call him honorable because his work, and more important than his work, his love for his people and his attachment to his people, he can drop something on you that you wasn't even considering. So I have to be honest, even when I was trying to do what I was trying to do and get myself together, I was blessed to meet him very early on. And I was not interested in necessarily going after our people in that way. I love black people, but I didn't know necessarily what the next steps would be for us, because I mean I was so young, you know.
Right.
And then when you're in your teens and early 20s, you interested. You still you interested in being fresh at that time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
ain't interested in the struggle like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was blessed to meet him in Winston-Salem. And my oldest daughter's a Ram, so I give y'all respect.
That's you, baby.
I give
That's
y'all
you.
That's
respect.
you.
And he's a Ram
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
and
Yes.
loves it.
Teachers College.
That's right.
What's
That's
Teachers
right.
College?
And he was the one when I met him.
Hey, you know, you got to go somewhere.
No
you know?
rebuttal.
Right.
No rebuttal.
Can I
Right.
get,
No
can I get
rebuttal.
a central?
No
Go to
rebuttal.
HBCU. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
HBCU love. You know what I'm saying?
Central's all right too.
It
Central's
is,
all
it
right
is.
too.
We need lawyers too.
That's right. So when I met him, and I thought it was a fluke or accident or you know, I couldn't comprehend at that time why I was even in the room. I was fresh in the ranks, just joining. And it just so happened he was in town actually to support a young brother who was in his teens. He came from Chicago just there to support him. He was giving a violin concert. He was going to dip in and dip out, support him, his biological brother, and the young brother's mother, who was a great pianist. And he wanted to talk to some of us before he left. So before he was leaving, and at that time I was at A&T. And while I was at A&T, of course, I was in Greensboro, and we were going to the study group in Winston. So when we first met, he asked me, and this is history that a lot of you won't know, he asked me, brother, where are you from? And in my mind, I wanted to say, oh, I'm here in the Winston-Salem study group in the Winston-Salem Mars. And even if I didn't say that, I should have said A&T in Greensboro. That didn't come out. So when I told him Reedsville, and then my thought was, why did I say that? He don't even know where Reedsville at, you know? And when I said that, he stopped in his tracks. He just came in this week. He was taking off. He stopped in his tracks. He said, what? And he went on to tell me that when he was going to Winston-Salem State, or Winston-Salem's Teachers College at that time, one of his best friends was from Reedsville. And at the time, he was so poor, whenever there was breaks, he couldn't afford to go back and forth to Boston during break. So he would come to Reedsville and stay with his homie.
Oh, man.
And he said,
That's something
he told me, look at that. He said, now I grew up in the Episcopalian church, and our services were a little light. You know, this is what he said. He said, so, but one day he said, this brother took me to church. And he said, I'll never forget the man nor the subject. He taught that night, life is like a vapor. We only have it for a short while and then it's gone. What are you doing with God's time?
Right.
And Minister Farrakhan told me, he said, that man set my soul on fire. And he said it was at that moment I knew I had to preach God's word.
No, man.
He said, but I could never find a church home that spoke to the liberation of our people, which was also burning on his inside.
Right.
He said later, when he went back to Boston and New York, he would run up on Brother Malcolm. He said, and the rest is history. He said, but it was their brother that I knew that was my destiny.
Oh, man.
That's a true story. And so I thought, at that time, I thought, of course, like many, I thought I had escaped Reedsville. And then he said, brother, it would make me very happy if you would go. And then, you know, he goes into that. So, of course, I mean, I can't, you know, you can't tell the boss no, right?
I know that's right.
So I was like, ah. So, you know, I had a little help in getting focused, maybe more than others who would have been trying to find their way, you know?
Yeah.
And I have to say that I've been very blessed and have had an opportunity because of him and because of the nation to go all over America and different parts of the world, even, and including Jamaica and Africa, and I've had a chance because of that to sit with heads of state and government people, and one time took some gifts on behalf of the minister's family to this king's family in the Gambia. So I'm blessed. I feel like I'm indebted to you all. I'm moved by what I heard, but I feel like I'm indebted to you all. That's why I was anxious to get here.
Oh, bro,
You know,
not indebted. We indebted to you.
Absolutely.
You
We
know.
indebted to you.
But I'm happy to be really here. And in 2008, I got assigned to the mosque in Durham, North Carolina, Muhammad Mosque number 34. And which I love, and I love the believers there. I love Durham. Durham is a beautiful city, and really, it's like 10 Reedsvilles packed
Absolutely.
into the spirit of the people, and the area really is closer to Reedsville than I would say even Greensboro or Winston. I mean, it's a lot of similarities. So I thank Allah for being there, but I know that before I got there, a lot of what I used there, I learned here,
right,
in terms of preparation. I would just put it that way.
Right.
Yes, sir. Sirs.
All right, but we definitely, man. Just going back to it, we definitely are grateful to have you here with us, man. We've had a lot of people come by and drop knowledge. We had brother Ron Neal and
Yes.
brother Greg Lee came and
Yes.
dropped a lot of financial knowledge on us. Nikki
Yeah.
definitely came and dropped some knowledge on us. I
Yeah.
remember
Brian Gillen, man, it was
Yeah.
a different aspect.
Hey,
From,
different eyes.
Oh, different
eyes.
eyes. You know, different aspect for other than our color. It was a different aspect to
Yeah.
see his point of view on things.
Right.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, well, what I want to ask you off top, man, is the state of America. This whole platform for us started with us just, once we saw that George Floyd, and that for me, that rage that was inside started bubbling out.
Mm.
And it was like, we just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then I came to these two brothers and it was like, would y'all be willing to go on live and let's talk about it? Let's tell it how we feel it.
Yes.
And we ain't gonna, if we step on toes, we step on toes. If we lose friends on Facebook, we lose them. But we're gonna tell it how we feel. And we did it, and we got a great response to it. And it turned into people wanting us to keep doing it, keep coming live and discussing what's going on in this world. And since George Floyd, it seems like week after week, it's something new, something else.
Yes.
And I just want to get your take on what we're seeing now, and I might be the only one that feel this way, but when they started to burn down Minneapolis, I was like, let it burn. We built it, we can burn it. That's just the way I felt. That's just me. What I want to know is how you felt.
Well, brother, let me first say, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, you really can't grasp what's going on in the world today unless you look at it through the lens of prophecy and through the lens of how God sees what we're looking at. Now, one of the things that has got America out of whack is that God purposely has been removed from how you view anything that's going on. And we've been given another man's view. And because we have another man's view, this is why, unfortunately, we believe every generation that something's going to change this time. And what happens is a generation grows and has children and wastes 20 years on false hope. And then we start seeing our babies come up, right? And then we become angry because, man, this don't make no sense, man. I can't let my child go this way. So, see, this keeps going on and on and on because another man has us thinking that something is going to, happen and don't worry about it. We got you. And this is going to change. But see, now, going back to God's view, going back, putting on the lens of the prophets, what they saw. Because the Bible, the Quran, as it speaks in what is called prophetical terms, we got to understand that their prophecy is our present. Mm-hmm. So what they were prophesying, we're now living in. Yeah. So for us to, in this day, go out and teach prophecy as though it's prophecy, is why our people is in bad shape. No, you must now teach prophecy today is present. So the prophets at that time, when they were inspired by God to see in our time, they didn't have the language to use to say Minneapolis. They saw it, but that wasn't their language. Right. You see, they saw the president, they saw President Trump, they saw President Obama, they saw President Bush, but they put the words in the language that was for their contemporary time, which was kings. Yep. Which was rulers. Absolutely. They saw airplanes, they saw spaceships, but they put it in the language that saw chariots of fire, winged horses. They use metaphorical language to really point to the people in the future. This is what's coming. But see, here it is, Big Mont. Brother Lamont.
He like that. He like that. We call tight shirt.
Tight shirt.
He like big ass.
Don't hate me because I work out.
Yes, sir. We're in the time now that we're in the end of it all.
Yeah.
And this is why they say that the prophets of old they wouldn't mind even being wayfarers on the side of the road to be in the time that we're in. So until we come to grips with that, we are living in the fulfillment of what every prophet that was ever raised by God prophesies of, we will never be able to get a grip on what we're looking at. And we, unfortunately, in our ignorance, will choose the side of God's enemy. And the minister teaches us this is how we get crossed up and tripped up and get on the side of Satan. Because really, it ain't but one battle going on. We tricked into thinking this battle going on over here and the economy over there. Yeah, all of that is somewhat true, but there's only one battle that's going on right now. It's a battle between God and Satan. And who will control God's people? Yes. And everybody is not God's people. You can be God's people. Well, what about the chosen? Yeah, you can be chosen, but you got to choose back. You see, we married men, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, you just couldn't pick your woman and say, I choose you, and then you go take her. Yeah, then you said it in your mind, but she has to choose you back, or else you run into some other kind of problems.
Entanglement.
Oh yeah,
entanglement. So God ain't interested in being in no entanglements. So yes, He picks up people, but then the people that He chooses have to choose Him back.
Right.
And this is what Black people are going through right now. We can't dispute, or no one really honestly can dispute that Black people are not the chosen of God, because again, when we look through the lens of Scripture, nobody fits the description better than we do. And when you look at those scriptures, the scriptures is really, what we would call a bolo, right? Be on the lookout for.
Be on the lookout for.
You know what I mean? We know all the bad stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we don't understand that Satan has the same memo. So he's always been looking for the chosen. He's always been looking for this particular people because they're at some point, according to prophecy, they're actually going to give birth to a human being. That he'll be flesh and blood, but he will be anointed with a special kind of spirit that galvanizes the people. I believe we're in that time. And I believe that man has been born, and I believe that all of the turmoil that we see today is tied into, from our standpoint, our rejection of the very steps that we should take to do next. And that's on our side. And on the white man's side, he's being whipped for what he's done. He's being punished. And that's why a real clear thinking black person, when they see certain things going down, in our hearts, we say, and it's a natural response to 430 years of outright persecution and slaughter. It's oh yeah, you getting yours now, huh? And then here comes Satan to try to convince us that we're wrong for feeling what we naturally are feeling. So, I feel, brother, I don't feel bad for it, but the only uneasiness that I feel is that so many of us don't have enough knowledge to avoid the traps that will be laid for us when we make certain kinds of responses that can set us up. Right. Case in point, when the thing first started off and it was all these riots and stuff, many, with phones jumping off the hook, our mosques get voicemails full of people asking, where y'all at? Wait, come on out here to these protests. Man, we're not going out there. For what? Go out there for what? You can't see those people out there purposefully trying to take the movement this way, trying to take the movement that way. And God blessed us. Now everybody got this.
Got a camera.
Everybody got this. So we were able to see in real time white folks coming, dropping off bricks for us to come and throw it through a window only so we will get arrested. Yeah, they get arrested with us. We go in the front door. They go out the back door. So our people, brother, have to be taught and learn that in all of our movements, we are saturated with agents. We're saturated with hypocrites. We're saturated with those who are on the take, and their objective is to deceive us into doing something that is, I will put it in quotes, unlawful. Right. Although what has been done to us is criminal, but they're trying to deceive us into doing something unlawful. Right. So we can't participate in all of that madness. But to you brothers and to anybody out there listening, don't ever let anybody tell you that once you get invested and you feel, hey man, this ain't right, I might have to rise up. Now all of a sudden, they want to tell us we should be nonviolent. Now all of a sudden, oh wait a minute. Violence ain't the answer. Well, if violence ain't the answer, why the hell you sending us across the water to fight for you? Since violence ain't the answer. Right. Nonviolence is the best policy. And weak Negroes talking about this mess. No, when somebody attack you, you fight back. And if nonviolence is great, I think we should start practicing it. As my minister told me, we should start practicing it in the black community first.
Right, definitely.
If talking things out is better, and let's sit as civilized people and discuss the matter, then let's start practicing it in the black community first. Yeah. But you don't practice what you preach. And that's why our people love somebody who is, I ain't nobody. But I know what God has done for me. And I know what God has, I don't know all of it, but I can see some of it. What God has done for you all. Because some of us were sinning together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, brother.
I neither confirm or
That's-
deny those allegations.
Hey, but that's real, brother.
Yeah, that's real.
Going back
That's
to,
real.
to what you're saying, like one of the platforms that we stand on is agreeing to disagree.
Absolutely,
Learning how to
brother.
communicate.
Yes, sir.
Learning how to say, brother, I understand what you're saying. I don't agree with what you're saying, but I understand.
Yes.
Now this is what I'm saying. Can you at least
Yes.
show me the same the same humanity that I'm showing you, that I agree with what you're saying?
Right.
And I think that's what's unique about this show, man. Because I mean, all of us, we grew up together, but all of us got different views on everything. I mean, it's okay. I mean, you say something, you anti-Trump. You know what I'm saying? I'm not anti-Trump. I'm anti-politics. You know what I'm saying? So, but we can agree that you deal with what you deal with, and I deal with what I deal with, and I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm not deaf to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do, and that's what's wrong with our community. I think sometimes when I feel the way I feel, I don't listen to what you're saying. I don't care how you feel, because I feel how I feel, and I think that's the gospel, and it's not. Everybody can learn. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
But that's
can
what
learn.
we do. We growing though. We growing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the for me, for us as a black man, as a community, as a unity, we got to grow. And that first part of growing is sometimes you got to just listen.
Yeah.
You got to listen. You got to self-evaluate, and you got to understand.
And you got to humble yourself.
You got to humble yourself.
We
You got to listen to what somebody saying. Yeah.
We so proud that we can't humble ourselves to listen, to learn, to take in, to absorb what's the knowledge that's thrown at you. You know what I'm saying? We like, I know everything. You can't know everything. Nobody knows everything. Nobody.
It pays sometimes to look at the other side of the coin.
Absolutely.
To know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Not saying you got to agree with it, but it pays to look at that other side of the coin.
Yes. Buzz, in the 40, I'm not gonna crack the book out.
Hey,
but
it's you, brother. It's on you.
But it just happened to be sitting right here.
It's on you.
But the 42nd chapter of the Holy Quran is actually called the Council, and we are advised by God to decide our affairs by counsel.
Listen.
See, one individual never has it. See, one of the reasons, brothers, that this show is successful, and I already know it's going to grow and it's going to continue to be successful, because this is another type of the Trinity. Now, y'all got to do rock, paper, scissors to figure out who's going to be the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But the point is, the three functioning as one. And what we have to learn how to look at things is that everything has a surface level. Then up under that surface level, there's another layer. Then up under there's another layer. Then up under there is another layer. So we have our brother Jesus, who was the one who was the example of the mind of God being crystallized into a human being, but he was trying to get his work done through his disciples. And some of the scholars say that when we read about that history, that all of it ain't history, that some of it is prophecy, and a lot of it is actually metaphorical or allegorical language that shows how when we talk about Christ consciousness, it's something that we develop in the mind. So when you look at that man, he was a man who was moving, but trying to discipline and master 12 forces in his own mind. See? So we're always trying to figure out, man, I should do this. And as soon as you move out on what you're inspired to do, here comes another voice. Man, what you doing that for? Man, them people don't even appreciate you, man. What you talking about, man? Then another voice says, see, so all of us, if we're honest, and I know you scared somebody gonna turn you in and you get committed, but if we're honest, all of us have voices in our head, all making suggestions to us about we should do this or we should do that. All of us have that. But here's the kicker. And why we have to always remain a spiritual people. And why, again, I think you all will be successful. See those voices you hear? It's two voices that you better learn to recognize. One of them is God. And one of them is Satan. Who is going to control us? Who is going to be behind whatever the next step is that we make?
Right.
And so the struggle that we are engaged in, and I love how you put it, Brother Demetrius, this self-evaluation. And we actually have a series of study guides that are called, that the minister began writing in 1986, and we do them and we work them all the way up to the present. And I'm gonna go back and watch this myself, so that anything that I mention that I can't mention, I'm gonna drop it in the.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna drop links into it so that you can go see it for yourself or study it for yourself.
Absolutely.
And so this series is called Self-Improvement, the basis for community development. And everybody in the Nation of Islam has to take this course. Well, but damn, man, when we gonna fight white people? You know what I mean? When you learn to master yourself, white people and their influence becomes minimized. You think we don't live in the same America that you live in? I move around, I function. White people know who I am, but they treat me with great respect.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if they see me coming at the bank, they'll say, "Oh no. Oh no, you come in. Come on. I'm at the window. I don't have an appointment." That's all right. And they'll come meet me at the door. I'll drop off packages at the post office and, "Oh no. Come right up here, baby. Come on." And they looking like that white woman just called him baby. Don't she see that big black, that t-shirt, he got all that black on it? Yeah, she saw it. But you're trying to kiss her behind to advance.
Man.
And that's not respected.
Let's do.
So we don't need to do any of that. We must come to self first. Learn how to master ourselves.
Exactly.
And once we learn how to master ourselves, then, especially as men, we can become greater masters of our household.
Yep.
Because every man really want to be the man of his house, but sometimes he don't know how.
Don't know how.
So a lot of times he end up taking some L's, right? Because you ain't gonna win no argument. So, brother, you're gonna have to learn something.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to learn
Not
something.
now.
You know what I mean? So that's what that whole thing is about, in improving ourselves, so that when we come home, brother, we can actually have a home. And as Minister Farrakhan told us one time, that when you look at the Lord's Prayer, that is the type of respect and honor that a man should have in his own home, but he got to do something. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Daddy home, Timmy home, hallowed be Timmy's name. See?
Yeah.
See, being up in heaven, that means you're held in a certain esteem, a certain honor. But you and me, we got to do something. Take charge of our life. Take charge of our community. What? We have to become the providers of bread. Your wives and your children out there can't be hungry, and then you want to be elevated and looked at as a father.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So, brothers, we really in a situation, and I get easily excited. You see, I'm trying to turn my own self down.
No.
Turn up.
Turn up.
But-
Turn up. It's for real.
I just don't know if you really understand just yet the divine hand behind what you all are doing. And see, sometimes because we've been spooked out and we've had so many religious hypocrites in front of us, our minds have been distorted as to what religious really is. So we think religious is to be pious and fake holy and walk around and, "Do you see me? And I'm a reverend and I'm a this." And that same joker hitting everything that ain't moving.
Mm-hmm.
And this type of behavior makes people sick and tired. So they say, the hell with religion. No, you should say the hell with him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
they throw the whole thing away.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to become open-minded now because God ain't closed-minded.
Yeah. You know.
So he ain't scared to use this platform to become his church because now the church is closed.
Yeah.
Mosque is closed. Synagogue is closed.
Oh, shit.
So he's opening up a new church. This is a church. And it should be honored and respected as a church. You might let one or two go sometime. Unfortunately, I got that same habit, you know. But I think we know the story, bro.
Big L.
Episode 3.
Yeah.
But it ain't no need in us being fake and phony.
Yeah.
Right.
That a man can't be of God because he let one go. When our lifestyle and our activity can be profane in a very negative and nasty way, but a person can be pure-hearted and could be used by God, but they just need a little coaching. They just need a little help, not by the self-righteous hypocrite, but by somebody who knows and been down that path and been down that street, which you all have. See? So really, this is a ministry. You don't have to, change the name, man. You don't change the name.
We done that one time.
We
Man.
did it
We
once,
ain't gonna do it again.
But really, what you have is a ministry, and it should be honored as such.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You know, people, going back to what you said, like, people always say, no hurt like church hurt.
Yeah,
As soon as they get hurt, they done with it.
Oh, yeah.
God didn't have nothing to do with that hurt that you felt. That was an individual or a circumstance. So people tend to say, if that happened to me there, if God allowed that to happen to me, I'm just done with it. Not knowing that's a trap. Like you said, it's a trap.
yes,
That's an individual. That ain't a person of God that hurt you. They may have made a mistake, but that's not a person of God that sit there and cause that pain or that anguish in your heart. So you can't just throw religion out the window. You can't throw God out the window because somebody hurt you. But people tend to do that.
yeah.
So yeah.
But when you get into that misunderstanding part, brother, and I feel exactly what you're saying. But he whom the Lord loveth, he chastens much.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Tell me
he
about
uses other people to be the sandpaper. And it's better to be the wood than the sandpaper.
Mhm.
But God can choose somebody to rub somebody purposefully the wrong way. Sometimes God allows people to rule over us that are not worthy, so that we can learn how to be humble, so that we can learn. See, sometimes he makes us suffer so that when we get our turn, we will remember all of the things that we said. If they ever make me, hell, who is they? See, because all authority is from God. So even tying it all up into present day, current events. So even though we might not like President Trump, if all those prophets saw into this day, if God saw into this day and we're in the end of days, you think God could not have prevented Donald Trump from being president? He could have stopped it. He could, but he allowed it. And all of us looking at that man knows that that man is not worthy to tie the laces of our toddlers' booties. But see, we're going to have to come to grips with the reality of what white privilege is all about. See? Because nobody black, you couldn't be the president of your union at your job. And you got 13 degrees, got extra credits, and you, in the summer, for the last 10 years, you went to all the things that they said you should go to in terms of professional development, and then they'll still bring you in, and you got to train your own replacement. But here, this man becomes the president of the United States of America. And then you see some of your friends cheering.
Yeah.
So God wants you, I'm talking to you primarily, my black brothers and sisters. See, God wants you to see that this man is not going to change. That this people is not going to change. And you got to get out of the mindset of, well, I got a good white friend. I got a white friend or two myself. But here's the problem with your white friend. He's not in power. He don't run nothing. So your white friend is good, but he's good for nothing. He can't advance us into the next steps. That is something that we're going to have to do on our own. So whoever becomes president, the people of God going to eat. Whoever becomes president, the children of the people of God should be educated properly. So all of this madness that we see is to chastise him, but God is also getting after us because we refuse to choose him back and take the responsibility of being the people of God. We want to wear the name and walk around and say chosen, but we don't want to suffer. We don't want to go through all of the twists and turns that it comes through. That's why God is tired of fakers, man. Yeah. And God would rather use you. He would rather use you. He would rather use you. He would rather use me. I know I ain't all the way right. I know I ain't an angel up here. And I feel like I owe God. I feel like I owe my own people. I feel like even how I came up or I grew up and father and mother and busted up and in their marriages and all of that. It's 8 of us in my family. I didn't know that, Amon. Yeah, my pops is busy just like a whole lot of y'all pops out there. I have 2 biological brothers who at different times were shot in gun violence, but God blessed them to live. I have a biological sister who was caught up in the sex trafficking industry. God blessed her to get out. Now she teach others how to avoid that. I'm telling you, I've seen it all, man. But because of that, I feel like due to my suffering has qualified me to be able to reach people in a genuine way. Yeah. I just needed to find a sensei or a master in that sense. So I don't worship Minister Farrakhan as a master, but he's my master in the sense of training. Yeah. Right. He's my master in the sense of sensei, a man who can show me, hey man, when they give him the shoulder. Yes, sir. See? So he can show me how to do it. See? And when I get beat up a little bit, I got a cut man that I can go to. Mm-hmm. And he can grease me up, get back out there, let's go again. And see, all of us need that. Yeah. We need a counsel. And because we have not had that as a people, that's why it's so easy for people to come and tell us what to do next. We as Black people, we cannot go to the Asian community and tell anybody in the Asian community what their next step should be. You can't go to the Asian community and tell them what they should do for their children and by their children. You can't go to the Asian community and tell them what their next business steps should be, what their next move should be. You can't go to the Asian community and tell them about what they should eat and what they should not eat, what type of music they should have. And then if they have music that denigrates another Asian, you put money behind it. So next thing you know, now you got Asians killing Asians. You can't do that. You can't do it in Greek town. You can't do it in the Italians. You can't do it in the Koreatown. You can't do it in the East Indian community. All these people are running their own affairs, but it's only Black people. Mm-hmm. Right. That somebody can come in and tell us what the next steps we should make, and we don't have the mind nor the courage to shut the damn door, man. Yeah. That's how we in here handling family business.
True.
And we have to have enough strength that when we have weak ones that's in here in the council among us, when we see them, going to open the door. Because sometimes we'll go open the door and let the enemy in the back door. And when we catch you doing that, we'll warn you first. Say, look, we saw you going to that door. You got one more time to put your hand on that door, and your hand going to be left on that door. See, when we get serious about checking what's going on that's crazy in our community, it will change, not later, but then.
Yes.
But as long as we're looking for, and I know this might hurt some of your feelings, but Joseph Biden is not going to save you. Well, we got to get Trump out of there. We'll get him out there. Get him out there. But I tell you what, Trump ain't the one that's got that crazy SRO officer. Yes, SRO officer, that's what you call him, at your school.
Yeah.
Who is that? Who did that? That's your school board. See, we're too interested in national politics.
Now you look over the local.
And you look over where your power is.
Yep.
Listen.
Your power is in backing these brothers, bringing your behind on the show and letting people that can influence where a decision or a vote can be made locally help you out. But you're scared.
Amen.
You know how many people, brother, who have come to different events we've had, or they may have even come to Black Family Day, or they sat with me, or they sat with my family, or I have given them money to help them. And we take pictures, but I never see my pictures make it to Facebook. Now, I'm not going to bust you out on these brothers' show today. But see, the fact of the matter is, you're not afraid to show your nasty behind naked on Facebook or Instagram. You're not afraid to do that, but you're afraid to share a post or interact with a post or show a picture with your own brother.
Yeah.
Right.
That
Right.
if you had did that, then maybe you would have won, because then the people would have saw, hey man, I didn't know they was down with them. They're really serious about our people. But you was too afraid about 2 or 3 white people that wasn't going to vote for you no damn way. See, look, we got to stop this madness. We got to stop this madness, this infighting and whatnot, because no, we got to settle our own beef, settle our own differences. And you get in the room behind closed doors, 6 feet apart with masks on, and iron out your differences. You don't iron out your differences in a Facebook Live.
That's right.
It's none of those people's business. You go and you fix that, and then when we come out, then we locked arms.
Yeah.
Now, my jacket may be crooked. He might have a little scar right there. That's the only thing I can do is probably scar his arm. But when we come out united.
Yes.
And now the enemy, he can't see where to get a punch in.
Right.
See? But they do that to us, and they lie to us. And just like with Hillary Clinton, when she ran, everybody was so angry with your own. I saw you. You were arguing and fussing and condemning your own kith and kin because you felt like they didn't back Hillary Clinton enough. Hell, you ain't talked to your nephew that you mad with from 1989. You got an auntie that you won't deal with. But you're going to go against your own people because they didn't vote a particular way? This is madness.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, she won the popular vote. So why didn't she become the president? See, but because you're not engaged, you go by what them people is talking about. You don't even know nothing about the Electoral College.
Yeah.
They make whoever they want to be president to be president.
Right.
But many relationships were damaged over a white woman that don't care nothing about you. And over 90% of black people voted and backed that woman. So what else do you want from us? And that same white woman that was sitting beside you the next day in your office talking about, oh, it's a shame Trump won. It's a shame Hillary lost. And when the stats came out, 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump.
Yep.
Did you hear what I said? 53% of white women voted for that woman.
Yeah.
That means that same white girlfriend that you got that was crying with you Wednesday morning, oh, that same woman is the one who voted for Donald Trump that Tuesday night.
Yeah.
The same woman who heard him talk about grab him by the pee. See, we're not going to get what we claim we're going after out of this. It's not going to happen. We're going to have to focus on ourselves.
Yep.
We're going to have to focus on ourselves. It's not a crime. It's not wrong. You shouldn't feel bad about it. You shouldn't spend too much time explaining it. Maybe explain it one time, make a video out of it, and then from then on tell the people to reference to the video. You don't have time on this valuable platform to keep re-explaining what you have already established. We don't have that kind of time. It's the end of the world, and most of our people don't even see it.
Right.
So everywhere where we are, we got to get busy in our own little sphere of influence.
Now, staying on that, this week on Facebook, we've had it's been a lot of black versus black in
Yes.
regards to Kamala Harris.
Yes.
Now, to my understanding, she put a lot of brothers behind in the prison system while she was the district attorney.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
The people that went to prison broke laws. So I don't know if she put them in, or they made bad decisions.
Well,
They took a step towards putting themselves down. Let's say that.
All right. So
Now we'll say she just did her job.
Okay.
But but the main thing is we got brothers against brothers,
Yes.
brothers against sisters, all in the comments this week.
Yes.
And then there are some people that choose not to vote, which I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's your choice. I'll let you have your choice. And as we said earlier, we agree to disagree. We move on. How can we fix this? Because this goes back to us taking care of family business.
Family business.
We as black people gotta learn to get along. We gotta learn to agree to disagree.
Yes.
We definitely gotta learn to support each other a lot more, as well as each other's businesses.
Yes, sir.
That's something that we really don't do. You know, we'll pass that black business other than the barbershop or the beauty salon. But you know, black folks may open up a restaurant and the prices may be a little bit more than what you pay at McDonald's or something, but we'll go to McDonald's quickly. How do we get that message out?
Well, brother, you know, and that's
Or is
that's
it really
a good
just
point.
a choice that you
Well,
gotta
you know,
make that choice for yourself?
well, people have to make the choice, but they have to have some new choices put in front of them. See, again, it goes back to my brother. You know, why are we fighting each other? In essence, over another man's choice. So what difference does that make? No, think about it now. They were both vying for the Democratic nomination. They was arguing with each other.
Right.
They were debating each other. Now all of a sudden, that's his girl.
Yeah.
So, you know, if he can change his mind, I'm not saying you should vote for or not vote for, but how can you be more angry than this man who's the one actually running for president?
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes a source of division for us. That's how I know that Satan is involved in the choice to purposefully divide us. And because we don't have enough knowledge to make certain choices, and because he has the power to define, meaning POC. Oh, she's a POC. He's a what a point. I refuse to use terms like POC. That's to dilute us. A POC is a point of contact. I ain't no point of contact.
Mm-hmm.
I know a little something about management. You do too now. A POC is a point of contact. But because the white man has the power to define, he takes it and changes it. It don't mean point of contact no more. I say it means point of person of color. See? So now we have to argue about who the person is. See, some of us, the root of the problem is we don't see her as family. Where she said, I don't give a skip what she said. She's a black woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you have a black parent, listen to me sitting out there today, even if you consider yourself biracial and you have a black parent and a white parent, you are black.
Yeah.
And the sooner you come to grips with that, you don't have to go through all of the confusion that you're going through. Somebody purposefully is making you feel like you have to choose. See? And it's natural if you have a white parent to want to know your white family or your white heritage. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But there's no need to be confused talking about, well, I need to learn about white culture. There ain't no white culture. White people don't have no culture except the culture of oppression, the culture of death. And if you have any culture, it is because you have usurped it from the indigenous people and taken it as your own. So don't worry about no white culture because you don't have one. Learn about your blackness and you be the ambassador to your own white family members and tell them, my white family members, we got to change. I love you. That's not my job. That's your job. You go and be an ambassador to your own people. So we're in the day now where everybody has to make choices, including Miss Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Now, what she ultimately chooses to identify as is going to be due to political expedience. Sitting in a room with a whole bunch of little people coming up with iPhones and tablets, telling her what the polls say, and whatever the polls say, that's what she's going to go out there and identify as. That is a weakness on her part, but I know that that's a black woman.
Yes.
And I'm going to give her respect, and I would hope that she would learn to respect her own people. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the very near future. Because, see, we still don't know yet and understand and appreciate who Minister Farrakhan is. Whether you want to follow him, whether you want to be in the nation, that's your business. But even white people know when you want to verify how black somebody is, when you want to get a validation of where a person's mind and spirit is, you give them the Farrakhan litmus test. And we've seen it over and over and over. So all this crap that most of us is talking about how black she is, we're going to find out. Because you better believe as sure as I'm sitting here, that's going to come her way. So should we dog her out? We got enough of this dogging people out. Do I agree with her and most of what she did? Absolutely not. But to keep it 100, because that's where we at, right?
Yeah,
to keep it 100,
100.
I didn't agree with everything that Belinda Foster did.
Yep.
But when them jokers raised up on her and talked about what they was going to do, myself and the soldiers, we surrounded that woman and she appreciated. So you can disagree, but if anybody come her way, you're going to have to deal with us.
Man.
And the threats on her stop. And I stand on that today. And even my brothers and sisters who were out in behind closed doors, every meeting that I was in, trying to slander her and talk about this aspect of her life and that aspect of her life. I would always tell them, yeah, you can say all of that, but that doggone, what's his name? The father is down there in where I'm at. Oh man. The son that was running for became the DA behind that. He ain't no good. The brothers and anyway.
Oh, I know he out the office now.
Yeah.
The dirty one. The dirty one.
Yeah.
But my point is this: that was only to be a stepping stone. He wasn't interested in really being no DA. He was trying to do that to make the next steps to go up the chain. So at least this is a woman that we know what we dealing with. But here we go. But hey, man, she took a. What's your point, Amon? That is the point. We didn't rally around that woman. There's a whole lot of people that we didn't rally around. That whether we didn't agree with them in their, let's just say their political position, like Dr. Smith, I think that was messed up. And to show you how these people think, yeah, you got rid of the house, but you got rid of the actual practice right by the hospital.
Yeah.
You tore it down. And now it's a walking trail. What is that saying to us? We will wipe you off the map. So no, man, I'm not in agreement with jumping on somebody with 2 feet. Let them do. They can do it. It's going to happen. And when we really start learning how to value the vote, we're not apolitical. We're not a group that says don't vote. But I'll say this. When we start talking about the value of the vote, when we talk about the value of the vote, we talk about how people died for the right to vote. Mm-hmm. And that is something with which we cannot honestly disagree. But because we died for the vote, then that vote should be more precious than any other person in America. So that means that we should just not, let's call a vote the V. That means we should just not give the V away to anybody that just come and got some good slick talk. We just gonna give them the V.
Do your research.
Or if you got enough money and they can set me up later, I'm gonna give him the V. Yeah. See, now you give away your V for money or prestige, that makes you a whore. A whore. So we got to put some value on the V. So when somebody comes trying to get the V, you make them give you a demonstration on why they're worthy. You test them and you question them as to why they think they should have this V. No, you got to earn this V, baby.
Yeah, right.
You can't just talk me out this V. And see, when we learn to put some value on the V, not because you're scared that somebody else is going to come to power. Ooh, now you scared. So you don't see there's no more fish in the sea. So you're going to just give your V to the next one because you ain't sure what's going to happen. See? And this is what we become, a people that should value the V, but we give the V away to the highest bidder. Mm-hmm. We just lay down with anybody and give them the V. Right. And we should be ashamed of ourselves. And we don't even know enough because we don't take counsel to know what questions to ask those who come trying to convince us to give them the V. So you want to give up the V so quick that you want to ask soft questions. You don't want to give no investigative, real hard questions because you're anxious to give the Democratic Party something that it has not earned because you're scared about some Trump. No, hold your V. Hold your vote. Hold your virtue and make the person demonstrate why they should have that. Well, if we don't do it, now you scared? Then how you ever gonna make an honest man honest? And we men. Yeah. How you gonna make an honest man honest when anybody can get it?
You're right.
And after he got it, he ain't gonna marry you. He's gonna go to a woman and get that woman who held herself. You don't even know what kind of questions to ask. Minister Farrakhan just poured his heart out to the whole world on July 4th in that message called The Criterion. And in that message, he lifted up right 90 miles off the coast of America in Cuba. They already have 14 different therapies. That's right. Then they are successfully treating the COVID epidemic. 90 miles off the coast of Florida, a whole little tiny nation that has 83 doctors per 1,000 citizens. They have the highest ratio of doctors in the world. And they're sending doctors all over the world to treat the pandemic, which really is a pestilence from heaven. So when you go to these doggone debates, when you go to these press conferences, why don't you stand up and question Joe Biden, question Kamala Harris? We would like to know, since they have discovered 14 different verifiable remedies and treatments for COVID-19 right off the coast of America in Cuba, and they're working, we would like to know, if you all become the president or the next administration, what will you do to normalize relations between America and Cuba that we may be able to do what you seek to do and open up schools and open up businesses? Will you seek to normalize relations with Cuba? Or will you do like the previous administrations and deny Cuba access when she came offering to help? Cuba wanted to send doctors to help when Katrina happened, and the United States government denied them. Why? Because it was primarily black and brown down there in Katrina going under and dying. So why don't you ask them kind of questions of Joe Biden? Why don't you ask them kind of questions of Kamala Harris? Because you scared that Trump is going to win, so you're just going to give your V away to the Democratic Party, and as she always does, she's going to stand up, and he's going to stand up and say, thank you, and leave you in the bed like some cheap thrill. I just got off, and then they're going to go off and rule and won't even give you a call back after they get into the office if they win.
Man.
So, heck no. See, I caught that one. Heck no.
Man.
We gotta make a decision. This is the last time. This is the last time that we are going for this crap. And it ain't over. We can make a decision today. We can make a decision tonight. You just gotta quit being afraid. You know Philippians 4:13, for everything else, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me, except if Trump get in. We sound foolish. We're an embarrassment. Again, we're not saying don't vote, but learn how, as Minister Farrakhan told us, learn how to vote your self-interest. And you can't vote your self-interest if you don't know what your self-interest is. And we have to be taught and we have to be trained, and you can't be embarrassed about it. And if you are embarrassed about it, quit going around other people and quit going with white people and learn to teach your own in private then if you're embarrassed. But there's no need to be ashamed because of what was done to us. Last point on that. You got me started, man.
Hey, do you think?
The last point on that. The last point on that. See, what you alluded to at the end, really is a consequence of integration. I have been doing this work almost 30 years and have had the opportunity to meet and talk with and discuss many important matters with many elders, very honored and respected people. And I have never had any elder tell me ever that Black people benefited from integration. I've never heard one say it yet. And you haven't either. So we always talking about how times used to be and what we used to have and what we used to be able to do. And, the morals that our children used to have and how smart our children was when we used to have on, then hell, maybe we need to do it again. Yeah. But you scared to separate from this man. Who made you scared to separate when you acknowledge in the same breath that Black people was better off when we weren't with white people? But Satan came in and gave you a false interpretation that you would receive more gold in another country more than you were receiving for your labor in your own community. Right. And you elected to leave. And when you left, all of our business and our core strength left. Our good education system left. Say, we can go play professional baseball. No, we don't have no Negro baseball leagues. See, only to now come to 2020, and now we're trying to figure out how to have our own. Well, we had our own.
Let it go.
And we let it go because some of us that was in leadership was so sick, we wanted to be among them that I want to be with white people at all costs. And they sold us out, man. And now we're paying a price today for having been integrated into a people that were not worthy of us. And they sucked our blood and built up America on our backs, and now don't want to give you a damn dime. No recognition. This little book right here. How white folks got so rich. We got tons of books that they don't even want you to have. We have books on Amazon, which was built off of selling books. They take our books off of Amazon. Why? Because they don't want you to have the knowledge. after slavery, immediately after slavery, we built 60 towns. The ex-slave built 60 towns. You got Shaw and St. Aug right over in Raleigh.
Right.
One founded in 1865, one in 1867. Something like that. What's your point? My point is, fresh out of slavery. In this little book, you learn about not only did we have 60 towns, we could do everything. They even talk about how if you was out and you saw a white man walking with a hammer, it was an anomaly because they didn't know how to do nothing. Hell, we built the country. We were the masters of carpentry. We were the masters of masonry. We were the masters of medicine. The white man didn't know how to do nothing but sit on his porch and point. And then whenever he got tired, tell his own woman something crazy and run down to the shack and find a black woman to lay with. Because even when our woman was down and out, she was still more attractive than her. So he knows who our woman is. And if you want to come up, you want to be somebody, get you a black woman. But because of that, white women have always been envious. Because they know that even their man understands that that black woman is key to advancing.
Something special.
Something special. Hell, even he know that. Now you would trade your woman in. Now you do what you want, and I'm not condemning you, because we make decisions based on the quality of knowledge that we have at that moment. But if you have not made that decision, man, you better try to find you a sister that understands you and understands your structure and your struggle and has your same genetic makeup, what they call now the epigenetics, where they're going and they're studying that our condition is affected us all the way down into our genes. So when we say, get off me, I ain't my ancestors. I know what we think we're trying to say. But the fact of the matter is, you are your ancestors. Don't disrespect them.
Right.
You are a culmination of all of those who came through everything. And that's why a lot of us are now starting to stand up. Because that's in us to now stand up.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So they built a nation immediately after slavery. And that's what necessitated coming up with all of these laws and coming up with these unions to find a way to get us out of the trades. We're coming up out of slavery. We was the tradesmen. And now all of a sudden, we don't have no trades. Right. And he's running everything. Right. Even when I was come up, they had woodworking and wood shop, right?
Yeah.
You had all the mechanics and
Masonry.
stuff. Now what are you doing? You don't have no trades? They convince you to what? Go to college. Don't get mad. Don't get angry with me. We need to go to college. Yeah, go to college, but you going to college for what? To get a degree in philosophy? To get a degree in black history, and then they don't even give you the real history while you're there? What happened to our nation building skills? They have taken everything from us. No, it's time for us to take it back. And you don't have to take it back through violence. You take it back with knowledge. You take it back by increasing your value, by increasing yourself in knowledge. And even if you go to school and you want to get a job somewhere, you must have a trade. Everybody know me. I bake. I'm not embarrassed to be a baker. Right. I brought y'all some baked goods tonight. Yeah. I hope you enjoy them.
Going to.
But I'm going to always be able to get $1 because I have a trade.
Yes.
My wife will always be able to get $1 because she has a trade. My children are going to school. Got one going to be a midwife. Why? Because baby's going to always be coming here. Yeah. So we got to make some wise decisions today about what we're going to do for the future. We got to do it. We can't wait till the next generation or the next thing happen. No. We got to do it. And we can do it. But you got to quit waiting on them to give you permission to do what they will never do. And if COVID-19 didn't only show you about the health disparity, it should also show you how valuable our dollar is. And as great as they appear to be, We are the profit margin for every business of consequence. So if we hold our hand, they can't take that. They need you more than we need them.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real. So integration, to close that point out, integration did us in. So you're saying we need to go back to segregation? We didn't say that. Separation is not segregation. How we were treated, that was not right. How we was dogged out, that's segregation. But separation is an agreement made between two equals that this relationship is not working out. And before one hurts the other, I think it's best that you go this way and you go that way. Because this is not going to work.
Yeah.
So why do we keep trying to force something that after over 400 years, you see this is not going to work? And just like that man that you almost used to keep when you thought you almost had him, as soon as you start going out that door, he starts making all kind of promises of what he gonna do. And I'm gonna do right this time. And this is what white people have done to us. Every time we start packing our bags. Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. I swear to God, I'm gonna change. I swear to no, I swear. And we fall for the okie doke every time. They're not going to do us no better. Joseph Biden ain't going to do us no better. He's going to get up in there and he's going to do what every president has ever done since they've been sitting up in that seat. He's going to do what's in his people's best interest and self-interest. And to be honest, that's all he said. But you don't know how to listen. I'm gonna come off it, man. Cause y'all get me worked up.
Man.
So
mask on fire, spitting fire.
Oh man, yeah.
Listen,
something came across the other day on my Facebook was Minister Farrakhan was on the Donahue show.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Back
and I remember when.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch it until now. And just to see ignorance on both sides.
Yeah,
because it was ignorance on both sides of people looking at what the nation was about, as hate, as violence, and it's not about that. Yeah, it's about educating our people,
absolutely,
uplifting our people, and even some of us was on that show, downing him.
Yeah,
you creating this, you want to do this.
Yeah,
those are people. Those are people like you talking. Them the ones going to the door. Opening the door, and like you said, we got to stay woke. We got to learn how to uplift one another, educate one another, upbuild one another as a black race. We have to.
Yes, sir. And you won't lose.
Yeah, you're gonna lose some battles. You're gonna lose some. You're gonna win. But we gotta keep fighting, and that's what we do. That's what this whole platform was set up for. It is upbuilding us as a race. And like I said, some people may disagree with it. We all got white friends. Our high school classes, I feel like it's one of the closest classes that ever came out of Reedsville.
Right.
And some of our closest friends came out of Rockingham same year as we did. And some of them following, and some of them comment things, and it's some disturbing things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's their opinion. I know that for me to accelerate past the me now.
Yeah.
For me to get to another level of me. A better me, I have to understand that they're not gonna see things that I see, and that's No, that's what's for me. Like I said, my word for this year was better.
Yeah,
be a better man, be a better friend, be a better husband, be a better father. And I'm striving to be better. Every day is a constant battle. Every day is a battle. But I do a lot of, like I said, evaluate myself, evaluate the situations that I'm going through, evaluate my tone, the way I articulate myself, evaluate everything.
Yeah.
The way I carry myself, the way if I speak to you in public, just everything. Or if I see somebody having a bad day, Did I do my part to ask him, are you all right, brother, sister?
That's right.
You having a
That's
bad
right.
day?
That's right.
Hey, it's gonna be better. It's
That's
gonna
right.
get better. You on this side of the dirt.
That's right. That's right.
So it's good.
That's right.
You good. So you know that's me.
That's right.
All right. Got a question just came in. Doesn't really. I can't see the name, but
That's from Nikki. Miss Nikki. Nikki Knight.
Oh,
they wanted
Nikki.
to wanted to speak on the Nick Cannon situation briefly. As you know, he made some comments. He was doing an interview with Professor Griff, who is another brother that's extremely knowledgeable.
Yes.
From back in the day, you know.
Yes.
And that's not coming just from a huge Public Enemy fan. That's just me just actually listening to him sometimes. You know, Nick referred to some things about the Jewish population or the Jewish culture.
Yes.
They wanted to speak on that briefly.
Yes. Well, you know, here's the thing, and I'll try to make it brief. I know I just hit my phone and saw the time. I apologize. In the spirit, you know, time it don't work. But you know, one of the first things I'd have to say is, again, this is something that our people have to grow to understand. That when people say Jewish culture, what is that? What does that mean? So when you deal with people that you have some people that are the kind of robbers, you know, that just hit you in the head, leave you laying, all that kind of stuff, strong arm robbery. You know what I mean? They might not even wear no mask. Mm-hmm. These are the worst kind of thieves, and more than likely they're going to get caught, and they get a lot of time. But there's another kind of thief that he's a little bit more sophisticated. So while we're down in Wentworth, you know, trying to explain, trying to call, won't nobody take your calls no more because it's about the 5th time you did this, right? So see, that's a low level. Then there are those that we find out about later that work somewhere or work for the school administration system, right? And we find out for 10 years they've been embezzling, right? Then we find out, so there's different levels of thievery. And the number one crime in America, as it once was identity theft. Mm-hmm. And that's the reality of what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a people who stole a whole nother people's identity. And as we started out, when we were talking about the biblical sense of what is prophecy and what is fulfillment, see, that whole scenario about Rebecca and being pregnant, but when you go back and look at it, it says it didn't say, we said she had twins. No, the word says she had 2 nations. Not babies, 2 nations were in her womb. See, symbolic. See? And when we can't get into all it tonight, but I'm going to drop something in the comments later that people can go check out. When you're looking at the book of Genesis is a word that literally means gene and cis. And in Latin, which is where English comes from, the word or the suffix cis, when you see that means to split. See, to split. Medicine, anytime you see that cis on the end, it means to split. So Genesis is a book that details the splitting of genes. How somebody was made. Mankind. Well, see, we all mankind. No, we ain't all mankind either. We are men, and then there's mankind. That's when they got to the moon, Neil Armstrong said, what? This is a small step for man, but a big step for mankind. Because the original man is us. which the scientists call, now, again, I'll give you the receipts on all of this. Or you go Google pre-Adamites. See, these are the people that were before Adam. So when you look at that Bible, you're looking at a 6,000-year history. And that means if we start from Revelation and go back, that the earth is only 6,000 years old. Well, that goes against everything you learned in science, right? Well, it ain't talking about us being created 6,000 years ago. It's talking about a specific people that came into existence 6,000 years ago. And this is why white people love to hijack people's history, because they don't have no history before 6,000 years ago. They just got on the planet. They're babies. We are the ones that the scriptures call the Ancient of Days, timeless. We go back to ancient millennia. The Dogon, they look up and they mapped out the stars. White people didn't do that. They learned it from us. They came and sat at the in Timbuktu and in Egypt and all these different places, coming to learn our knowledge. Then they go back. Now, what's your point? My point is simply this. When you go back to that Genesis, then who is that man? And then you have to go back to see, well, who is the two nations? And what does that symbolize? Because it's not talking about twins as we understand it. It's talking about what is in the DNA of human beings. I hinted at it earlier that God and devil is in us already. But somebody, one of our own, looked down and saw that the root of our problem, of our rise and fall of civilizations, was something that was a flaw in us. And he was able to bring that out. His name was Yakub. Now, before y'all say this is that ain't real, that ain't go. Well, where did white people come from? If you go to school and you learn when you was in biology and you had to have them gnats and whatnot, right? Mm-hmm. And you learned about the big T and the little t. And you learned what the scientist Mendel said, that you can get the recessive from the dominant, but you can't get the dominant from the recessive. So if white people was first, then everybody on the planet would be white. Because white people can only produce white people. But black people produce everybody you see on the color spectrum. Mm-hmm. And every now and then, we even give birth to what? Albinos, which is a sign to the world that we even produce white people. Right? So when this happened, the people that was in there, that was unalike, that you say, well, you call white people devils. That's bad. Devil is a technological, scientific term. It means weak, wicked, or grafted. No longer original. That's why when you have eggs, you eat them, right? But once you take it out and put a little salt and pepper, maybe a little paprika, I don't know how y'all make it, but then you put it back in there, they call that what? A deviled egg. Because you went and you changed it. Man. So devil is actually a term used in genetics. Go research it for yourself. So when we said, or when Amon Muhammad said that the white man was the devil, he was not engaging in name calling. He was showing them. And then they had to go back and study, only to find out that it was the truth, that you did not come out on the planet naturally. You came through a process. Now I got to fast forward for the sake of time. These people, once they were introduced to us in what is called the Holy Land, right? The Holy Land, they will call it now the Middle East, but it's really no such thing as the Middle East. We can't talk about all that tonight, but it's a term that was given to divide us, because really, that's Africa. Yeah, right. That's Africa. But it's to throw us off mentally. Another talk, another time. But eventually, those same white people that we made showed up there. A lot of stuff went down. I got to go fast. And we realized, oh, this is the source of our problem. And we kicked them out. And when we kicked them out, we literally kicked them out and sent them into the caves and hillsides of, in our lessons, we learned about yew and rope. You is the hills and caves and hillsides. The rope is the rope that was bound to keep them in. You go look on the map, you see that line is right where Turkey is. And we took everything from them. Took everything from them, and they had to march across 2,200 miles across the hot, burning sands. We only gave them a little something in their front to cover their privacy. And this is why you have the white lodge and you have the black lodge. Now, the black lodge, we Masons signing. Okay, fine. But see, the white lodge, this is why they don't want you in the white lodge. Because in the white lodge, they are studying the science of the black man in secret. And once you go past the 32nd degree, you come out of the Bible and into this book, the Holy Quran, and you start opening up in the name of Allah. What's that all about? Why do they have the fair zone with the star and the crescent that you might see on us sometime, but theirs is turned with a sword over the top, showing them that they are never to reveal the secrets of what their journey was coming out of there, and we marched them into the caves. This is the abbreviated version. Now, we got to fast forward between that time and the caves. Now, while they was in the caves, they went all the way savage. All the way down to their all fours. They noticed in their own history. If you see one of these little cartoon movies that came out a couple of years ago with the cave people family, it's a little cartoon. And in that little cartoon thing, one of the daddy refers to his children, he calls the children cavies. Now, we were taught where that language even came from. They slipped it in a cartoon in the movie. Why they're called cavies? Because they can't. See, you ain't never been no caveman. They came up with the Flintstones to throw you off. We ain't never lived in no caves. And even when they came out of the caves and began to rebuild in Europe, this is why they built castles made out of cold, damp rock, because it reminded them of the time when they were in the caves. They were in those caves savage. And we, the black man and woman, who are really the manifestation of God himself out of our mercy, we sent them Prophet Musa, we say today Moses. And Moses is the one who taught them and raised them up out of the caves. This is the point that goes to what my sister is at, or wants us really to get to. When he raised them and taught them and began to raise white people up out the caves, this is why those early whites, and even in Washington, the statue that they have representing Moses, you go look at the toe, the toe is wore all the way down from where they have kissed the feet over and over, because Moses is the one who came and gave them the teachings to raise them up out of the caves. Now, when you're in a class, in any classroom, you got the ones that come out first that excel. Then you got some, they kind of hang out in the back a little bit, but they'll get out. You just got to be patient. The ones who accepted the teachings of Moses and did and came up and learned how to be like the original man and ultimately came to usurp our power, that people is what you would call the so-called Jew, who now masquerades as though he's the real Jew, but he's not the real Jew. He's not the real Hebrew. But he uses our wisdom because we gave him the wisdom to get him up out of his condition. But he went, and the Pentateuch, or those first 5 books, and the law that was given to Moses and the prophets that came behind him, that was not enough for these, because they still had that nature in them. You understand? Mm-hmm. So they came up after that fact. They came up with what was called the Talmud, which is a book that they wrote by their own hands. And see, this is the part that a brother who means well, like a Nick Cannon or anybody else, that so-called Jew, he always wants to act like somebody's attacking Judaism. Well, no, you have not practiced it. You are going by what is in the Talmud, which is not from Allah. It is not from God. It is from your own hands. See? So he does not know this. He was in the process of learning more about it. But see, this is the danger of, I'll use Christian language, as it says, and I think in the book of Timothy, that's what happens when you begin to heap to yourself teachers having itching ears. You want to hear something from over here. You want to hear something from over there. So you start taking in all this doctrine, can't digest any of it, and you throw it all up. And you become emaciated and starved when you just should have stuck with where you are. And all streams of truth lead into the rivers of righteousness. But you want to rip over here, you want to run over here, you want to run over there. Now you are a spiritual mutt. Got 15 religions in your head and you don't know what to do. Yeah. Jesus said, be hot or cold. If you look lukewarm, I'll spit you out. So these people are the ones who that scripture symbolized, who came in and set themselves up to be the ones who appear to be the chosen, but they are not the chosen. They are the ones who flipped the script in the womb, and the one who is the elder became the servant of the younger. That's what you have in the scripture. And so we have been serving those who sit over us that we think, here's a people that by their own admission in the Talmud, and we have many writings, all of you out there, you got to get the secret relationships between blacks and Jews. You can't get it through Amazon now because they took it down. But the reason they took it down is because they don't want you to see what was done, and that they are not the ones, you are.
That's right, their own writing.
That's their own writings. We didn't sit up and make up nothing. Right. We went into their own scholars' libraries, and all of these books, you can follow the citations and go see that this is by Jewish authors and Jewish scholars. So when they came to ask Minister Farrakhan to condemn the secret relationship between blacks and Jews, the minister said, I don't want to be associated with anything false. So if you will condemn the Jewish historians and the Jewish scholars that we got this information from, I'll condemn the book tomorrow. Now you go condemn them first. And they haven't done it yet because they don't want that type of conversation. So today is our brother Nick Cannon. Tomorrow it'll be somebody else, and it will always be somebody until you learn to go and read and study for yourself. Who has stolen your birthright? Well, if that's the case, then why don't you why be that? Well, look, let me tell you something. See, it don't matter. Your religion is not what you say. You can say you're a Muslim. You can say you're a Christian. You can say you're a Jew. You can they're making up some new religions, they tell me, right? You can say whatever you are, but your religion is what you practice. That's your religion. Right. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us who followed him, when he was asked what was the best religion, I guess the questioner thought that he was going to say Islam, but that was not his answer. He said that the best religion is to do unto others that which you would have done unto yourself. That's the best religion. So we have to be careful not to fall victim to religious name calling. In other words, if you don't believe and walk like I walk, you ain't going to make it in. See, we have become slaves to ritual. See? So if you don't wear the right kind of clothes, no, you can't get it. See? And this goes back really to their intervention into religion to make rituals more important than what the ritual stands for. And once you become face to face with the ritual symbolized, then the ritual begins to fade into insignificance. See? And what we're going into ultimately is the kingdom of heaven on earth. Yeah. So prayer is not religion. Prayer ain't religion. Prayer is to strengthen your walk while you're in religion. Fasting is not religion. Fasting is not Islam. Fasting is not Christianity. You fast to begin to gain mastery over the flesh. That you can become a master. So when your appetite say go this way, your mind said, no, we ain't doing that. And once you can master the flesh, then you won't be tempted physically as a man. Oh boy, you will still be tempted, but you will be able to resist. So fasting is not a religion. Fasting strengthens your religion. It improves your way of life. So all of these principles, all of these rituals are not the religion. It is to get us through a dark period, a dark time, that in that 6,000 year time period, Satan would have rule. So the righteous were given places. I'm going to give you another perspective to look at this thing. We didn't have churches and mosques and synagogues. We didn't have that when Satan wasn't present. But when the world was let out unto, as the scripture calls them, a wicked husbandman, and he was allowed to have rule on the earth, see, houses of worship became necessary, that the righteous would have somewhere to be able to go, houses of refuge. But we ain't all ahead. The earth is the Mars. The heaven is above our head. Our lifestyle was righteousness. We didn't have no, well, you got to go down on Sunday, or you got to go down on Saturday, or if you got to go down on Friday. It was no such thing as that. We lived, moved, and always was in the presence and fellowship of God until the strange fella came. So another side of the sign of the closing of mosques, the closing of churches, the closing of synagogues. See, it's a sign that God is beginning to manifest himself fully on the earth. And when houses, if they do open back up, are not going to be able to exist as they did in the past. That day of being there faking the funk, robbing the people and all that, hell, that day is over. Now, you can remember I said it on this show at this time. That day is over. So if your church open back up, you better be teaching some righteousness up in there and principles and helping the people that come there and being good watchmen and good shepherds. Because this system is over, is done. So those people are the main orchestrators. I didn't write the book. We didn't write the book. And that's why they hated Jesus. So how are you going to condemn us because we have a disagreement with a people that murdered through a plot and an assassination of the man that you claim is the Son of God? How can you hate us more than the people that got together and killed your Savior? And in the Talmud says he's in hell right now, boiling in an excrement. That's what it says. That's doo-doo. That's right. And called his mother Mary a whore. That's right. Teach it. And when he was whipping them in the New Testament, they couldn't win the argument. So like children who can't win an argument, they resorted to name calling because he was beating them with the word. When they said that they was from God, just like he was, he said, no. If you was from God, my word would find a place in you. But my word don't have no place in you. I am from God, but ye are of your father, the devil. And the lust of your father you shall do. He was talking to the so-called Jews of his day. And they couldn't take it. So they said, well, we be not born of fornication, throwing up in his face how he got on the planet. That's another talk for another time. But they are not the real chosen of God. They are not the ones. They are actually the one, as it says in the book of Thessalonians, sitting on the throne of God, showing themselves as God. That's who that is. But now we're in the day of fulfillment. And that's why you see all these streams starting to run together. So we don't have a difference with people who are practicing righteousness. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. It don't make me no difference. Again, as the Christians say, try the spirit by the spirit. So what you say, well, okay, that's what you said, but let me watch you a second. Or what that vibe say? Yeah, you said that, but that vibe is telling me you something else. See? So, but that's so important that we learn that. And see, once you begin entertaining liars, and I will say it because some of the people that's out there may have saw when Rabbi Abraham Cooper, that's his name. Yeah, when he came on the show, that man got right on that show and he lied. He lied. He lied on us. He lied on the minister. He lied on us. Now, we'll go back and say, no, they took it down first. Then they come behind it after they take it down. So you can't go and verify the truth of what's said. And then they tell us it's a conspiracy. Well, how is it a conspiracy? Because what you say and we disagree with, we don't have the power to take it down. But what we say and you disagree with, you have the power to take it down. So how is that a conspiracy? So that man got up there and lied because the people are now sliding up and easing up on the truth. So he removes the truth. He takes away the history. He messes with the people's mind. And because we don't know the deceiving, blinding touch of Satan, we are deceived. So he knows if I can remove stuff. Like we all happy about they taking down the Confederate soldiers, right? They're taking down the monuments. Okay, but don't clap too quick. Because the other side of that, thank you, brother. The other side of that is this. When you take it down, when you take that down, you're taking down the visual monument of the reality of what happened to us. So just like they took away all of that we accomplished, that's why young people today, if you try to tell them what we did when we was younger, or what our grandparents had, they don't know what you're talking about. So it could also be that they're taking down these monuments, they're taking down these pictures, they're changing the names because they want to sanitize their own history. And what'll happen is 20, 30, 40 years from now, when we're trying to tell our great-grandchildren about why this thing is rotten, they're going to look at us like we crazy. No, ain't nobody did that. White people ain't never did it because we won't have nothing to point to. Because all the monuments are down. All the history has been removed. Hell, leave it up. That's what happened. It's the truth. And you got the Confederate soldier there. You got the Confederate flag there. So what? You tell me what we suffered under that Confederate flag that we have not we hadn't suffered under Old Glory. The old red, white, and blue. Everything we suffered under that flag, we have suffered under this flag. Only to come back to a country that don't give you no respect and you got to fight to try to get your own benefits. I know what I'm talking about. I'm right there at the VA hospital. I'm right there. I see it all the time. Even brothers that served in the military and sisters that's in my mosque, they always got problems trying to access this and access that. It's terrible. See, they're making the history move away. And see, we don't have that power, that authority and power. But these people, they write the history.
That's right. Scribe.
They write the textbooks.
That's right.
That you go into the school that teaches you that you're inferior, or they don't teach you nothing. They're teaching in some school. I saw a textbook in I think it was Texas, where they're even teaching the children now that slavery was not as bad. They don't even call it slavery. They call it like they was unpaid indentured servants or yeah, I mean it's just crazy. So be careful. Be careful how you celebrate symbols coming down and you think that means something. This man is the arch deceiver. And he's interfering with a crime scene. And he's blending in with the public because he knows God wants to kill him. So he's using us, holding us like hostages.
That's right. That's right.
And we don't even know we being held hostage because God wants to strike him and remove him off the planet and start something new and fresh. But he knows that we are the beloved of God. So he's using us. This is who these people are. And until we deal with it, we will never, ever be completely free. It starts with the knowledge of self, but you got to keep going. You got to keep moving. And at some point, as we build our own, you got to get control of distribution.
Yeah.
And we don't control distribution of food, books, entertainment. Who controls distribution? And we scared to say it. But it's the truth. So we have to do that on our own. I'm not saying go destroy what they got. Opt out. Just say, I see you. I'm out. And start doing it on your own. Even if you got to suffer. The bus boycott back in the day, that was the most successful boycott that we ever had as a people. You know why? Because didn't nobody ride that doggone bus. They broke them. And even the people, you know, their feet got tired walking back and forth to work, man. They ain't even had that soft leather either. That hardwood on them shoes. They walking back and forth. Hey, they ain't ride that bus. And if they saw somebody about to get on that bus getting weak, they had some Lamont Steels back in them days on post, and you ain't getting on this bus. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, brother. I thought, yeah, you thought. See? And because of that, they were successful. And if we start making moves like that, targeted boycotts, and getting in control of our own distribution, whatever it is. If you got to go stand in front of the school and sell pencils. Hey, man, I got that pencil, 25 cents. This is a special pencil. Get this black pencil. Do something for your own. And watch the thing come up. I know I go.
Man.
But they are not the chosen of God. And give me a little while, but I'm gonna drop in the comment section. Anybody looking, we got receipts. This stuff is not rocket science, but it's a reason that it's hidden from you. And you got to know the truth.
Yes.
Because it's that specific truth that will set us free. Because you'll understand, why do black people hate each other so much? See, ain't nobody, see, we the hardest on. See, niggas can't, see, we the only people talk like that.
Yeah.
White people not sitting up in the room talking about what C's do. I ain't gonna say it, I ain't gonna disrespect you. Talking about what C's do. You know what them C's? No, they don't do that. But we're the only ones sit up and openly explain why we can't do this and why we can't do that. Why do we do that? Where did that false notion come from that we're cursed? That God is against us. Where did that come from? It came from these people. The curse that they gave us, talking about Ham was cursed. That came from the Talmud. That's a Talmudic tradition from the so-called Jews. That's the truth that you got to know that will set you free. You're not cursed of God. You're the beloved of God. Oh, man. And it's a little bit more to it, but that's enough, I think. That'll make your mind get going. Did I hit something wrong, brother?
No, we good.
Oh, okay.
All right, man. Well, we at our end of the show, man. We was head 2 hours.
Y'all talk too much, man.
No, brother. That was great knowledge, man.
Anybody that know me already know the answer to that one.
That was great knowledge. I enjoyed every moment of that.
Yeah, man.
I told you this was y'all's church.
I believe we will have to get you back for a part 2.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, brother, we hope that anything that we do or bring to the endeavor, it helps and don't hurt.
Yes.
But the truth is always the best option.
Yeah, right.
It's always the best option. And anytime you got to sacrifice truth for something that you want to do, you better reconsider what that thing is and how can I stay married to the truth? How can I stand on truth? Because all of us are going to leave here. None of us have permanence. I hope we get to be here a long time. I know I want to be here a long time, but we could leave tomorrow. We don't know. And what will you leave What will people say about you after you gone? Well, I don't care, I'm dead. Well, see, if you think like that, you already dead.
Already dead.
We need to just throw some dirt on you right now because you ain't no damn good.
Yep.
You don't care about those babies and grandbabies that you have produced. What will you leave behind? Because the sins of the fathers will be visited upon the children.
Yep.
So every move that I make, I'm not thinking about myself only. I'm thinking about my seed and what kind of blessings am I laying up for them and what kind of cursings am I laying up for them.
Right.
So I want to make the right kind of moves. And I want to do something and do it in a way that it will bless you and it will bless our people. And then one day when I'm gone, one day when you gone, one day when you gone, maybe somewhere it'll be a little statue of us in the back room or somewhere.
Yeah.
And they say, these brothers right here was involved in turning the tap. We thought black people was down for the count. And they came in the ninth inning and saved, you know what I mean?
Came out swinging.
Came out swinging.
Came out swinging.
That's how I think. So we just want to help in any way we can. You know, we'll help you, help push this out, share it through all our networks. But y'all keep standing on truth, and you will always have our back, my Mars back, the Nation of Islam's back. You got our back. No matter what you claim, we got your back.
Definitely appreciate that, bro.
Man, well,
let's go ahead and get into these closing remarks. Start with you. We ain't getting no chips this week.
Hey, listen, it was.
I heard him rattling.
Normally when it
rattling.
get thick, I open my chips and I start eating. Listen, I ain't had time. There was so much coming at me. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't dodge it. Let me tell you something, man. One word to describe this shit was powerful, man.
Very.
You moved me, and I hope anybody out there that listened felt what I felt, and what I felt. I saw and heard a teacher. You taught today. You taught whatever class. Somebody might fail it. Somebody might pass, but you taught. You put it out there. It's for them to take it in. And brother, this right here is why I do this. Because shows like this, you coming here saying what you said. What's the name of the show? We said. He said what he said.
He said what he said.
He meant it. And you know, and the bad part about it, the good part about it, he said what he said. He knew what he was talking about. Yeah. That's when it's nasty.
Stand on.
That's when it's nasty.
Got the receipt.
He look you in the face and tell you, not scared of what you're gonna think, what people gonna think or say about him. The truth, righteousness, spreads itself, man. You can't fight that. You can't beat that. And that's what this man is about, man. And listen, favorite show right here. This is my favorite show. Point blank, period. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome, brother.
All right.
You know we love you.
Man. Hey, for me, man, it's exhilarating. Just educational, exhilarating, uplifting, all them. You can't just put this in one word because it's like thirdly is a real word too.
I'm just messing with you.
I'm still trying to figure out who said it wasn't.
Keep rolling.
Somebody from Winston-Salem State.
No, I think she went to Central. But anyway, brother of mine, man, this was we all know you. We know you're a powerful brother. We know you're upright brother. And tonight you just magnified everything that you stand on and with your beliefs. And when we started this show, the point was to hit the topics that people don't want to talk about. That's hard for people to talk about. Some people can't talk about them because they slaves to their environment, we'll say.
Yeah.
So we started this to be an outpouring for those conversations that's hard to talk about. And brother, I'm telling you, you came on here and you opened up a floodgate, man. Like I said, we got to have you back.
Absolutely.
We got to have you back. So when we get the schedules lined up, you got time, man. Please bless us again, bro.
Yes,
we're gonna be a Black Family Day, so we'll talk to you.
Yeah. Oh, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, we're gonna be online.
Well, you got time. You get the last one. You get the last one.
Yeah,
you get the last one. So
I go first. As I said, man, this was moving. This was moving. This was raw. This was much needed for this platform, for me, And I just really appreciate it, man. That day I was riding by and I seen you out there. I was like, man, I got to holler. I got to see if he come on. And you was more than happy to do it. I was excited. I was looking forward to this show, man, because I knew it was gonna be real deep. I knew, like I said, I knew you was gonna say what you said. And boy, did you bring it. Boy, did you bring it. This my favorite show too.
He didn't skim the top. He jumped dead in it. He didn't skim both feet. Dove in it.
Yes. And also I want to recognize someone in the group. Let me see if I can pull this back up. Give me one moment here. If I can find it here. Y'all bear with me out there. I want to recognize Mr. Jack Rainey. I'm a part of a
Get it right, brother. Get it right.
a black owned black American gun group where black Americans are getting armed. And what Mr. Rainey did was he was riding by and he seen some young kids playing, I guess, cops and robbers or something, but it had a little toy gun. Yeah. And what he did is he basically stepped in when he didn't have to. He went over to the little kid and he gave the little kid $20 for that toy gun. And when you see a picture of this gun, the gun looks real. And we all know what could have happened.
Yes.
With those kids just playing, being kids. What could have happened. And then, as always, they'll hide behind the badge. They'll hide behind internal investigation until it blows over, till it dies down. And whomever that officer is or would be, he's sitting behind a desk for a while, still getting paid, not held to the same standard as if it was me out on the street. So I just want to recognize Mr. Rainey for stepping in and actually having that conversation with that kid in regards to Tamir Rice. That was, I know he should be a part of the group. I hope he sees this. I hope he gets this message. But brother, I appreciate that.
That's beautiful.
I appreciate that. You possibly saved that young man's life. And I think anybody that knows you and saw that story, man, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. And we as black men got to do more of that.
Yes, sir.
We got to step in, especially for our youth.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes when we ain't got to, that's probably when we need to. So I just want to recognize Mr. Jack Rainey for that great act. And brother, we're gonna let you close it out.
Oh man. I got to thank you brothers again. And I mean it sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I count it as a great honor and a privilege. You've been in many, many, many places, but I still believe that these are independent platforms are the best platforms. And that's why I have my greatest joy, and I don't have to worry as much about maybe what's going to happen to my hosts.
That's right.
Because I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd sometimes leave a place and I'll worry about, man, what they going to do to them people there that I just left, Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate the freedom to not have to worry about you three. There's something going to come your way. You can believe that. But I believe that you three are strong enough to withstand what may come your way. And then even if it get too hot, just say, well, he said it. And I'll wear it. I don't mind. But I appreciate it. And as you mentioned, brother, this year, we do intend on doing Black Family Day again. It's so much that goes on, and what is called the Triangle, Durham and Raleigh, and I'm really responsible for a lot of other areas east of 85 and helping to get that, to be managed properly. And so I just don't have the time to involve myself in the day-to-day, activities of what may go on in Reedsville or Rockingham County, but people are not going to let that part escape, the Black Family Day, and I'm not going to let it escape either because it's still necessary. And because of the pandemic, what we're doing this year, everything will be online. I'll drop the link in there to the event and also the activities that'll be going on. So if you follow it, you'll be able to keep up with what's going to happen. We'll be able to do everything but the some of the bouncies and that type of thing. But the program is going to be awesome. We're going to still have, and you'll be able to watch this from the comfort of your own home. It'll be Facebook Live, YouTube, but we'll still have speakers. We'll still have various artists, spoken word. We have bands that's going to be sharing their talent from the studio. You're going to be able to see it all. And for the children, we'll still have children's activities in the form of a story time. A sister named Willa Bingham, who is a two-time Emmy winner in children's stories and children's books. She's going to be sharing. Got a couple of celebrity appearances because there's a lot of people that I've met over the years who would like to support, but because of proximity couldn't come. But now they're like, oh, now I can be a part of this. Yeah. So on September the 19th at 2 p.m., don't miss it because you're going to get you're going to get some good surprises, and we're going to have still a good time. So
okay,
I appreciate that, brother. Let me get that plug in.
No problem. If you remember to, within the group, post it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Post it as many times as you need to. Get that word out. We'll definitely get behind it and push it, share it, whatever we need to do. And once again, man, I think I speak for all three of us, man. We really appreciate you coming through tonight.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you listeners too.
All right. Well, that's going to be our time. So everybody, please share this. Hit that heart button. Hit that share button. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Brother Amon Muhammad, put that stuff in them comments, man.
Yes, sir.
If they need them receipts, we know you got them.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, put those things in the comments. Also, keep us informed on Black Family Day. And as always, man, we definitely got to have you back.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk and get the schedules together. We got to bring you back.
Yes, sir.
Somebody
yes,
said we need part 2, 3, and 4. So
you saw that.
And we definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. So for Timmy,
hey man,
for Demetrius, and Brother Amon, as always, we said what we said. Y'all have a great evening.